Hi, my name is Emily. I'm going to be speaking a little bit about what it means to be an inclusive educator, an effective inclusive educator. For me, this really centers around the concept of leading with love. So going to school every day, thinking about each student as an individual, caring about their needs, even the little things, their lips are really dry and they're having a hard time focusing, and that might seem like a little thing to you, but if you ignore it and you don't acknowledge the way that they're feeling, that can be a really big thing, and that can make them not feel loved and cared about. This is related, I think, to Kent Hoffman's idea that every child has infinite worth, but also that most people do not think that they have infinite worth. They actually feel the opposite. And so the things that we say and the way that we interact with students, and if we choose to ignore them in a moment or acknowledge them in a moment, how that impacts their worth, being mindful of those things is part of what it means to be an effective inclusive educator. I think also tied into this is meeting kids where they're at and building their confidence, building that relationship as much as possible. Think about the way that Rita Pearson talks about framing the +2 versus the -18 and ways that we can do that. I think about a child in my class right now and his first then chart. So if he does the first and he gets to the then, that is a really big deal for me and for him. It takes him a lot of effort to do that task, and I think that should be celebrated every single time, because that's what he needs. He needs a champion cheering him on, remembering his stories, acknowledging how difficult things are for him, and those things are really important. I think just speaking a little bit to regulation, noticing your bucket and how full it is at the start of every day, thinking about how your emotions are impacting your students. Are you impatient because you're tired? How can you manage that so that it's not affecting students on a daily basis? As human as we are, there's ways that we can protect students' feelings and help them still feel loved and cared about every day. Are you a consistent version of yourself? Are you responding consistently, giving consistent consequences? I think those things are very important. I am really, really grateful for Bruce Perry for framing the regulate, relate, and reason approach. I think this is such a good way of conceptualizing how we approach students who are dysregulated. You can't talk to a student about a strategy when they are dysregulated, when they're up here. You have to work them down, calm them down. You have to have that relationship piece, and then you can come up with a plan. So I think that was a really beautiful way of framing how we have empathy for our students when they're dysregulated and how we are able to get them to where they need to be. Even this week, I think I've used this a few times already. There was one student who hit another child in gym, and rather than sitting him down saying, "We need to apologize right now," took him on a walk, and we looked for rainbow colors. On the walk, we regulated, and then I built that relationship up a little bit more. I asked him about himself. I helped him realize that I actually do care about him, and then I asked that he apologize, and he returned to class, and he did, which was a really big win for me. It felt like a little bit of a magic trick, but I'd like to continue using that skill. Thinking about just some strengths and areas of growth for me, I think a strength of mine is my principle, leading with love. I think that is a strength that helps guide my teaching practice. I think something that I really want to work on is how in my personal life I can support my wellness so that I am that consistent figure for students. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I hope you have a great day.